We saw this in the previous game. Now, one last look at the lineups here. You've even got, of course, this Hylos with that Revitalize to go ahead and help things out. So we'll see how the adjustments are going to be for TNC. It was a rather quick Game 1 loss. Now, can they stop themselves from getting shot out of the sky and swept here by Team Falcons?
Yeah, considering the TNC Pro team are the ones playing again with a major range with the Granger and Farsa with them. And plus, they have a much better roam pickup this time around to shut down with what Falcons wants to do, and they have the Hayabusa. Yeah, I'm also leaning towards TNC in this game. Again, a lot of it coming from the fact that the Selena has been quite, not even 50-50. There's only one win of the Selena, and it's on the guy that's pounding on the Selena right now.
Here comes Yaoi jumping on up top. Here comes the action. Flap Easy gets popped despite Ogwin using the Revitalize. The Phoenix Army on the board.
Wow, Lord JM just showed up. Able to get the first blood now for TNC, so that's a good little start, even though that kill went to Lord JM, but helps him with some of this early pressure. They will go ahead and Team Falcons will get the Lith Wander, though.
Yeah. And because of that pressure, Super Marco is losing lane right now to Kozen. He's getting frozen out of a siege minion.
And a long-range minion, too.
Long-range minion, and with a Hayabusa going down to the bot, Ogwin now has to help cover for Super Marco so that he could get more waves.
Here comes Yaoi and the rest of TNC, taking down that Centaur man. Tempest of Blaze coming through, not enough range. Count Easy hits the rock at the end of that dash, though. TNC still untouched.
Okay, that was, you know, the idea was there, but TNC having that little bit of an advantage because of those early rotations.
Oh, it hit! Throwing out a full range arrow. Does not enough damage deal to Kozen. There is. Why am I talking like Yoda?
Yeah. Forced out the flicker, he did. And Kozen going back to his pro team.
Somebody bring out the Cyclops, please.
I don't know if we'll see it.
Turtle down. TNC scores. Falcons can only watch.
Yeah, they can only watch TNC, obviously. Oh!
Phew! Gets blasted here, catching a few salvos, flickering out at the perfect moment. Ogwin with the clutch Revitalized too.
Yeah, I think the early pickoff into Flap TZ shut down the aggressive rotations that Falcons want to do. Lord JM is actually reading Flap TZ's laning and rotations very well, that it makes it easy for Yaoi and Lancy to just wreak havoc across the map alongside the Hayabusa.
That's man-to-man.
Yeah. And so with this kind of early advantage, I would say, for TNC, hopefully they can keep continuing to build it, because you can see they have those minor leads across the lanes right now. So for Team Falcons, if we know what's true, especially with a Ling, it might just be a certain timing that they're looking for.
Here we go. They find Yaoi. Tempest Ablaze dropping here. Dash and dash and dash. Finally, the kill for Falcons on the board. Took him so much, though, just for the lover boy.
We're able to get one that's going to help with rebalancing things out. We saw the BPI gold difference flash earlier on. It's actually Super Marco leading in terms of the gold farm against Kozen, although that's just like a minion. It's not a massive lead, but it's a little bit more even now as Super Marco has equalized the lane equilibrium.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Super Marco. You know, even if he's down in a lane, he's usually able to go ahead and like recoup that disadvantage at some point. Now he might struggle, at least if he's in this 1v1 right now with Kozen, but eventually Super Marco usually proves that. Now Kozen's then doing pretty well too, and as long as he's able to go ahead and keep working on that lead.
Oh, Flap TZ walks in that wide brush, and there's lethal intent in TNC.
He didn't use the flicker.
So much. Yeah, doesn't need to commit the flicker, actually. He survived off of his own kit.
I almost would be sure that, almost anyone would use that flicker with all that pressure and damage right there.
Not the Filipino cannon.
He really just trusted. I think it's also good for him that he didn't dash into the shrub. Since he just walked up to it, he used the Jeet Kune Do twice and then dashed and then the third activation.
Yeah, so with this, they set themselves up to be actually in position to contest now the second turtle of the game. Whoa.
Kyle TZ finds Kozen all alone. Tempest Ablaze for good measure.
So they might actually, maybe with this information, might just go ahead and give up the turtle. Yaoi and the rest are down here, though. Meanwhile, Ogwin, giving that information, will go ahead and plant himself here with Lord JM. So by that time, they might be able to go ahead and commit to this turtle take.
All right. Lord JM just walking through, clearing all these traps set down by few. As Kyle DZ takes the long scenic route all the way to the top, that brush. I wonder if TNC knows that Kyle is there. Now they do. Turtle already started. gauging their range. Arrow thrown out. Feathered airstrike. The answer by Lancey. Ogwin dashing on out. And there's a glorious pathway. In comes the rest of them. Arrow thrown out. The revitalized. Zaida with the clutch. Retribution. Tempest of Blades knocking up the Shinobi as Zaida gets popped by Kyle Teasy. And they're not done. In comes Few. Lancey standing his ground. Yowie misses the jump. And now Lord JM flickers out.
Oh, no. Okay, so even as low as they are, they do manage to stay alive for all members of Team Falcons, although it was Zaida that ends up getting the turtle. Now 2 for 2, Flap. Getting a couple shots here from Lord JM. Now where's the items falling into place at this point?
Well, Berserker's Fury already built up for the Ling. Hunter Strike as well for the Hayabusa. So their farm is quite neck and neck. No clear advantage there. No clear advantage all throughout the game. Thunderbelt already for both EXP laners. And for the last one, you could really just say it was Falcons executing that better. It's also really good that the Abyssal Arrow for Few landed when it did. That bide a little bit more time for Falcons to have a better team fight. And that's what we saw.
And so with this, now even if it's not objectives for Team Falcons, they're looking to get these fights, get the advantages if they can. Eventually, they'll start working on these tier 1s. For TNC, you can see. Oh, Yowie jumps in.
Big jump by Yowie. Catches Ogwin and the answer. Here comes Kyle Teasy and the glorious pathway. The answer, the feather airstrike. Down goes Yowie, 1 for 1. Currently the trade. Zaida finds
Flap.
Super Marco, forcing back the bulletproof. Kozen with the flicker out. Flap Teasy here, staying, protecting his soft cores. And that is Lord JM pushing forward. The fight is dispersed.
Good
Both
coverage.
roamers.
Yeah, good coverage right away for Falcons. And good thing Super Marco, actually, he went back straight into lane right after that.
Yeah.
No time wasted.
He's playing catch up, you know, and he's actually ahead right now.
Yeah.
So even though he, had a little bit of difficulty in the beginning, those little micro decisions that he does make catches him back up. So he's got the Starlium Scythe and Feather of Heaven already. 2
items as well for Kaltizi Sling. Haas Claws will full build the boots up next, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but he decided to go for the item rush. I think the last fight as well, since it started off with Kaltizi committing the Tempest of Blades already just to take down Yowie, they couldn't extend that, and TNC Pro Team had the tools to go for the re-engage. That's why Falcons had to back off. So it's still neck and neck. You got to commend TNC Pro Team for keeping things close in the terms of the gold, despite Falcons getting the more recent kills, and things have been going really well for them. I think you also have to attribute it to the fact that Zaida did win that second retreat battle against Kyle Teasy.
Yeah, and with this, he might be able to go ahead and just get this 3rd turtle because you have Kyle just pushing up on that top tier turret. But he can join and make his way here. That's one thing about the Ling, just shows up, but it's so quick.
Glorious pathway thrown out alongside an arrow. Zaida, shadow in, retribution, clean. Flap Teasy coming in with a way of the dragon, finds one. There you go, the back off. Yowie gets popped here. Lancey, wings by wings. Diamond Force committed already by Super Marco. Canceling here. The feathered airstrike. Lancey caught up by Few. Now look at the back line.
No!
Zaida finds Flap Teasy. Currently the trade, 1 for 1.
Okay. Still walking away with a shadow kill.
Kyle Teasy compromising Lancey's recall. Dashes on, does not allow Lancey to fly away. And in comes the rest. Zaida and Kozen. Zyzen fails to punish.
The Zyzen failing to punish. Surprised that they're still able to pick something up even after all of that. But right now, Zaida might be one of the saving graces here too, at least to control some of this momentum being set by Team Falcons.
Yep. Dominant size already built up there by Ogrin. And now, Falcons has to acknowledge this isn't going to be so clear-cut for them as the TNC Pro Team. They're fighting very good. Great discipline in holding some certain abilities. You saw before getting taken down in the last big fight, Yowie held on to Tyrant's Rage as much as possible. That's him checking Kyle Teasy's entry, and Kyle Teasy was waiting for that Tyrant's Rage to get dished out. Zaida as well holding on to his ultimate. So TNC Pro Team are working off the idea right now that all their ultimates are so big ticket and are so worth if they get it right that they're holding on to it for the most opportune times.
And it's all down to that timing, and right now you have that split pressure happening right now across the map. Might be looking to get that tier 1 on the bottom side, but it's going to be cleared out by Kozen. So now it's in a state of the game where it's just pretty much even. You've got both 1 turret down for both these teams. They set themselves up for the most kind of stable. Whoa, well, hold on, Zaida's damage. will take out Flap.
Who saw that coming? I bet Flap didn't. What was that?
It's nuts. This Hayabusa is definitely online right now. And Flap TZ is only level 9 and is not making like water. He's making like paper at this point.
Oof, a 14 to a 9.
They folded that boy in half.
Yeah, that is a Holy Crystal that picked up now. So even with TNC, they're still going to go ahead and take their time with this Lord setup. You still have pressure, and that's something that we maybe forget a little bit because this is the debut pick for the Ling, is the amount of side lane pressure that you can put on, especially when you do have your purple buff to work with.
What I like about what Falcons have been, or excuse me, TNC has been doing though, is that despite the side lane pressure applied by Ling, TNC are covering it well enough. They're putting the right amount of heroes in the map, not just stacking and showing themselves in lane, actually. They're staying in the jungle close to where they could pass to wherever, whoever's clearing the lane is. So that's good coverage by TNC Pro Team in the map. Look at the items now. Yep, still a very, very close game.
Well, right now it's Team Falcons to start up the Lord. It's at half health. Zyda just around the corner. They might force a fight. It is going to be a reset. It might look like, unless Zyda holds it here. And now TNC takes control of the Lord area.
Glorious pathway set down by Ogwin. The answer from Lancy. Down goes Super Marco. An arrow catches Yaoi, but that's all she wrote. Falcons missed their window, and TNC with a big win.
Falcons. Oh, Yaoi goes in!
Yaoi hugs one. He does catch two. It's Ogwin he displaces. In comes the rest of the Phoenix army. Ogwin gets taken down. Few flickering on out, dealing as much damage as he can before he finds out it's too late.
Falcons, PH. They are going to get taken down there by Yaoi, and TC Pro Team can continue this. Kyle TZ walks away with a purple buff from Zyda. Bit of a reprieve there. Stealing away a buff from a Hayabusa, but Lord JM has been checking Kyle TZ really well, as Kyle could not find the right angle to enter in that last Lord take.
Well, he actually stopped him from taking it looks like.
Yep.
So good pressure there, but right now TNC is just going to take all these turrets that they want, and they're going to be forced to be on the defense here for Team Falcons. Still, it is that first Lord of the game, but we're going to have to see how this composition works on the defense. And I don't know if Kyle TZ is going to be able to go and swoop in there and grab his purple buff.
Yeah.
Because Lord JM is also waiting around the corner, and Zyda will swing his way there too. So Yaoi's charging up here. They want to go in for the base turrets at least, do some damage to him.
Lord does get taken care of by Falcons here, but not without losing their mid and bottom tier 2s. Yaoi jumping through, Few sees it from a mile away. Close call.
This is like the clearest gold lead we've had all throughout this game. There's only 3,000. That's just how close it is. But the map is looking red. The TG Pro Team can continue this aggression that they have. Again, I think it really boils down to the Kufra pickup ended up becoming really good for them.
Yep.
It blocks a lot of the damage you want to deal as the Selena, as the Harith as well, and Kyle TZ's second guessing every entry he wants to commit, because Yaoi's Tyrant's Rage and even just his bouncing ball is enough to mess up with what Kyle TZ wants to do.
I think it's also just enough pressure from a Kufra that, you know, you necessarily don't know what angle he's coming from, and that's one of the strengths of having a Kufra, especially with a flicker being available to you. I mean, you can look at his positioning right now too. And so something about that and having that on your side can be chaotic enough for Team Falcons lineup when it comes to the positioning they're looking for, especially if he catches Few, for example, and Few's only got that flicker really available to him.
Yeah.
Or if he's able to go and find Kyle TZ to force out an earlier Tempest of Blades than what Kyle TZ wants to actually use, those are big parts. Now, mind you, Kyle TZ hasn't died. You know, he has been able to go ahead and still find little moments to go ahead and farm up because he's maintaining against Zyda, who relatively the last few minutes has been on point. So some of these items, especially when we get past that, 18-minute mark, are going to come into a big play here.
Oh, conceal.
Where is he going?
Who's he going to get?
Lord JM gets caught out here. Yaoi jumps in to save his teammate. Now the feather strike from Lancy. Look at the flank here. Kyle T's trying to find Zyda. They let go. He's off.
Purify down.
Okay. With that gone, I think Falcons will look to try and really dive, find Lancy. They have to find this Farsa, but without a feathered airstrike just yet, they might not need to overcommit. Here comes Ogwin.
And they do try and break down TNC's formation. Look at Few from the west flank, and they throw out an arrow. Yaoi catches it to protect Lancy. There's a small window that TNC have to protect Lancey for about a minute.
Yeah, and they're going to go ahead. They see that Kyle's down on the bottom side. They're going to blitz this Lord and try to take it here before Kyle can even get there.
Glorious pathway by Ogwin. They are going to secure the Lord. TNC takes it. Now in comes the rest of Falcons. TNC are scrambling. Down goes Lancey. Yahweh in the middle.
Oh!
Down goes Kozin 2. 3 for 1, the trade. The Lord goes with the Phoenix Army. But look at this. It's as if Falcons had it all figured out.
The counter plays what they were banking on, and they're cashing in a potential sweep against TNC with a late entry from Kyle TZ.
Walking up the BPI saying, I want that base. Lord JM does survive for only a second longer. Lord going the opposite direction. TNC.
TNC might still have some fight in this game. Again, if Super Marco was able to cap out that kill on Lord JM, it could have possibly been different. But right now for TNC, they can play around the Lord take and still fight another day in this game. But you're seeing the arrow's going to hit, but no follow-up. But Lord JM
in too deep.
He's fast enough.
All right. Does dash through. He's fine.
But you see that last team fight. You know, we're not going to get a replay of it, but the decision to approach that fight that way for Kyle TZ, he was too late.
Zaida does commit. Pops the shadow kill. Does get the gets the kick. Targeted by the turret. Into the rest of Falcons. Lancey gets taken off the back line. Kyle tempers the place onto Kozin. Yowie falls. Lord JM, the last one left. Now they're all gone. Falcons wipe out the Phoenix.
And just like that, they'll be struck out of the air, and the TNC Phoenix fall down.
The best pure athletes in the game are damn good at flying too. Kyle TZ is 8-0-4 on the sling. TNC got split up in that last engagement.
Oh, right now as they march into the base, this could be it for TNC.
The airtime on the Falcons, unbelievable. Going for the sweep. Ladies and gentlemen, Falcons PH take it 2-0.